Hey there! Today the book club is talking about Deborah.
But before that, let's talk about the book she featured in. The book of Judges reflects a negative picture of God's people drifting away spiritually and then experiencing God's judgment. God allowed other nations to come in and attack them. Each time the Israelites repented for their actions, God provided judges who led and helped them in their situation.
It wasn't normal for a woman to be in power. Deborah stands out due to both her spiritual and civil leadership. When Deborah was a judge, the Israelites were under the oppression of King Jabin, who ruled over the northern portion of Canaan. King Jabin had a strong military whose captain was Sisera. Sisera had 900 iron chariots under his command, and his military power was significant. After 20 years of suffering, the Israelites cried out, and God raised up Deborah.
Deborah was a judge, a prophetess, and was a married woman. Deborah was wise and available. She performed her duties of administering, settling disputes, and leading the military. In Judges chapter 4, verses 6 and 7, we see the prophetic ministry of Deborah operating within her position as a judge of the area. Her directions to Barak to lead the battle against Sisera were not of her own, but of the will of God.
When Deborah was instructed by God, she went to Barak, because Barak was chosen by God to lead the battle for the Israelites against Sisera. Deborah's message for Barak was specific. She lays out God's plan for him. Victory was guaranteed for him, but he did not trust. There was a double trust issue. Is Deborah even a true prophetess? And can God really fulfill this word regardless of how impossible the task might appear? In our lives, we may not have a Deborah guiding us on our every step. Our faith should be no less than if everything were spelled out.
Deborah submitted to God's plan. Barak did not trust, so he did not want to go by himself in battle. Without hesitation, Deborah agreed to go with him. But this led to Deborah prophesying that a woman would get the recognition for killing Sisera.
Deborah did not procrastinate. She told Barak to get ready for battle. In Judges 5:21, we see that it wasn't because of their skills or tactics that the Israelites won against Jabin's men. We see that God had planned a flash flood in River Kishon, so that Sisera's iron chariots would get stuck in the mud and become useless. Sisera's forces were utterly confused. All but Sisera were killed. Sisera escaped and ran for his life.
Sisera, while hiding from Barak, was brutally killed by a woman, Jael, who was the wife of an ally of King Jabin. When Barak reached Sisera, Jael showed him the dead body. So Deborah's prophecy was fulfilled.
Deborah was humble and grateful, and Deborah and Barak knew that God deserved all the honor and glory for the deliverance he provided them.
As a woman, Deborah did not allow cultural norms to hinder her leadership and thereby enabled others to bring victory to God's people. This is seen in Judges chapter 5 verse 2, where it says, "Praise ye the Lord for the avenging of Israel, where the people willingly offered themselves."
God responds to a free will offering of ourselves. A child of God might be able to give many things to the Lord. However, God desires the believer to freely give themselves to the Lord.
We must remember and be ready to freely offer ourselves as living sacrifices for the Lord. That's it for today, guys.
Thank you for joining us for our talk.